Hello, sixth graders. I'm here again with you today to talk through 8.6 on scale, drawings, and models. But first, a couple of little housekeeping things. First of all, maybe you're missing seeing my face. I don't know. I'm missing seeing your face. So I just wanted to draw a picture of my face so that you would know I'm actually using the whiteboard and give you a chance to see me. I do miss you. I enjoy getting your emails. I would say I'm fine with you sending me questions, things you don't understand, but please check RenWeb and emails that I've sent to you before you ask me questions. And if you still can't find the answer, then feel free to ask. And on that note, until this really becomes routine, hopefully by next Friday, please check RenWeb every morning. Sometimes I have to go back in and make changes. I know you probably want to print it off on a Monday or Tuesday, but at least go back and check online before you get into the work for the day. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our lesson on scale, drawings, and models. Friday of last week, which is actually today, to me, this is when I'm making this video, I told you in RenWeb that you have a scale drawing due next Friday, I believe the 27th. So today I'm going to go over the lesson of how you do the work in lesson 8.6. And there will be some problems from the lesson assigned to you next week as well. Just a heads up, I believe I have scheduled your math test for I know it's next week, either Wednesday or Friday, so we'll see. Okay, let's get into this. You can see the writing at the top talks about what a scale drawing is, what the scale actually means. We're going to go down to example 1, which is a map of Maine, and they're asking us to find the distance between the towns of China and New Sweden. So the first thing we need to do is write down what our scale is, and you can see it in the bottom right corner of the map. It is 1 centimeter for every 65 kilometers. Now, one very, very important thing that you have to keep in mind as you're doing scales and transferring information from the model to the actual thing is something that we talked about in the last couple of lessons, and that is not mixing up the information that you might have in the numerator versus the denominator, okay? So one thing to keep in mind is this is the scale. No, not this. I don't want to call it the scale. This is the model. The not real thing, like a map, is not the real distance that you will drive. And this is the real thing down here. Okay, now I'm using the words model and real because sometimes we're going to talk about scale buildings. Okay, so if you look over at example 2, it says there is a scale model of the White House. Okay, so we can still use model and real. I don't have to change it to centimeters versus kilometers. We can just keep this in your mind as we go through this. In fact, I'm going to box it off and not erase it. Okay? All right, so we're supposed to find the distance between, in example 1, China and New Sweden. All right? And to do that, we can, and it means the actual distance. So to do that, we look in the map, and luckily they're telling us, so we don't have to go get a centimeter ruler. It says that the distance on the map between China and New Sweden is 4.5 centimeters. Okay? I will try to not assign you ones where you have to go get a centimeter ruler. All right, so we have the model distance, the distance on the map between the two towns. We have to figure out the actual distance, okay, the real distance. So this goes back to 8.4 and 5. We can use the butterfly method here to cross multiply, and therefore we get 1D equals, so when we multiply these two, we are going to know what the distance is because we don't usually show a coefficient of 1. And when you multiply 65 to 4.5, you can actually see the answer in the book. You should get 292.5. And so we can see that the actual distance between China and New Sweden is 292.5. Now, this is very important. Make sure you give units. I am not going to write centimeters here. That would be crazy. It's the actual distance, so I need to add kilometers. Not miles, not meters, but the distance that they gave, which is kilometers. All right. I would do number 1 at the bottom, but I said we aren't going to worry about using a centimeter ruler today, so I'm going to skip over that for right now. Let me clear this off. I have to mark it all. Whoops. Didn't do that exactly correctly. I am going to have to take my model versus real off for just a minute. I'll put it back up in a minute. All right, let's move on. Look at the top of 431. A scale model of an object in which the dimensions are in proportion to the actual dimensions of the object. That's the definition of a scale model. A model where the dimensions are in proportion to the actual dimensions. Now, that probably doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm going to explain it to you. It goes on to say the scale of a scale model is often given as a ratio. And we saw that in example 1. We were given the ratio of 1 centimeter to 65 kilometers. Okay. The two scales listed below are equivalent. So let's see what they're talking about. First, they tell us a scale with units, and they say 1 inch to 4 feet. We just saw one that was 1 centimeter to 65 kilometers. These are scales with units. The units are inches, feet, centimeters, kilometers. Okay. A scale without units is what they're showing you is different. Scale without units. And I notice the one in the example is 1 to 48. And they told us that 1 inch to 4 feet is equivalent to 1 to 48, even though there's no units. And you should see that 1 inch is equivalent to 48 inches. All right? So keep in mind, there will be questions. I can't see one exactly right now, but just look down at example guided practice number 2. It says use the scale factor of 1 to 25, and it doesn't give any units. So we know that all of them will be in meters because that's the one that they're talking about. Okay, so keep that in mind. I will come back and refer to that in a minute. And notice also the last point in that example, that description of scale models, it says the second scale, which was this one, 1 to 48, can also be written as a fraction, which we talked about when we first started ratios, okay? And a scale that is written as a fraction without units is called a scale factor, okay? So keep these terms in mind, but as I'm teaching, I will go back and explain that to you. All right, let me clear this off. And we will go on to example 2. There is a scale model of the White House in Taboo World Square in Japan. The scale used for the model is 1 to 25. Notice no units, so they're the same units, okay? The height of the main building of the White House is 85 feet. Now, They talking about the real one or the model? Think about 85 feet. It would be about 8 stories high, okay? Maybe not, but it's certainly not going to be a model, right? So our scale is 1 to 25. So we know we're talking about feet. It's going to be 1 foot on the model for every 25 feet on the real White House, okay? And they just told us that the height of the main building of the White House is 85 feet. That's the real one, so I'm putting it in the denominator, okay? And then the question, the thing we're supposed to solve is find the height of the main building of the White House in the model, okay? So we're solving for the height of the model. Again, cross multiply, and you will get 25H equals 85. You need to divide both sides, get your variable alone, by 25, and you will see that book's already done the math for you. So the answer will be 3.4 feet, because that's what we're talking about. All right. There's a check there. You can go over that. Let's try a couple that you can't see the answer to. So let me clear my board. And we will do example 2. The model of the Eiffel Tower is 12 meters high. So let's go back and get our scale, 1 to 25. Model over real. Okay, now they're telling us in example 2, in guided practice 2, that the model of the Eiffel Tower is 12 meters. Okay. Let me just say this kind of to clear up something that you might be questioning. In the first one, we talked about that it was in feet. Because there are no units given, the scale won't change. So we can do 1 to 25 and be talking about meters. That might be confusing to you, so I wanted to explain that. Okay, so let's figure out how high the actual Eiffel Tower is based off of our model. So we're just going to multiply, because of cross multiplying, 25 times 12. And we should get 300. So we can say that the actual Eiffel Tower is 300 meters high. I'm going to end this video because I am running out of time, and I'll pick up again with example 3 on page 431.